You're listening to Up the Turnpike with hosts Mitch Anderson and Matt O'Leary.
Hello and welcome to the Up the Turnpike postgame show, coming to you the morning after a New York Islanders 4-1 loss to the Anaheim Ducks. What's going on? Matt O'Leary, Mitch Anderson. Mitch, how's it going this morning?
I don't know if you're the same way. You probably are, but I don't know how fans of Western Conference teams do this. Like people who stay up this late. I typically stay up till about 11, but like beyond that, holy moly! I don't know if you feel the same way.
No, yeah, like if you're imagine being an East Coast fan rooting for a West Coast team, and every single night it's like, all right, I gotta wait till 10:30. On Tuesday, the face-off's not until opening face-off's not until 10:30.
That's insane. That's so late. It's so stupidly late. What are you guys doing, man?
Yeah.
Anyways,
Damn time zones.
Yeah, that's how I'm doing. Just waiting for more coffee type thing. How about you?
More of the same. It's going to be a busy day for me with NFL free agency getting going. So got that coming on. But first, we got to talk about our Islanders. So as Mitch said, they're on the West Coast late game. So we figure, record at, around 8 o'clock the next day rather than staying up till 1 o'clock in the morning type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
Not a fun one, Mitch. Not a fun one. We were talking before, like where we checked out of this game before calling it. Probably should have done it after the first period because my goodness, it wasn't quite, a 17-1 shot differential in the first, but it was a lot of Anaheim Ducks in that first period.
It was pretty close though. A 5-on-5, it was 16-4.
That's
stupid.
Embarrassing. It's embarrassing is what it is. And Marcus Hogberg, I thought, came up huge for the Islanders in the first period, made a couple of really big saves. And kept it scoreless for about as long as he possibly could hold off. And then eventually Sam Colangelo, would score here to put Anaheim up 1-0.
Yeah, like it was a barrage. It really was. It's just really bad decision-making. The pinch here by Noah Dobson.
Oh, he got lost.
Yeah, and then this set play, this almost tic-tac-toe-y type of thing. Perfect, right? Like Gauthier holds up just to see Colangelo kind of dip through the middle. Right here he is. Boom. And then Hogberg had no chance. He's trying to play the shot down the slot. And then I guess Colangelo freezes him enough that he gets that opportunity. Just bad play altogether on the blue line there.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I wanted to pause it because as we're watching it back live, my initial reaction was, oh my God, like, what was Noah Dobson doing? And I don't want to take away from, like, it was a really nice play set up from, we're on the wrong one. I'm showing the Ducks score here. I didn't even realize on this tab. That's my bad. The Ducks came in, really nice play from them. Like, I don't want to take anything away from that because it was a nice setup, but just the positioning, he just gets out of position almost right away. He doesn't follow his man. And then boom.
Well, it's like he's going for the big hit, right? And just either decides he can't or won't at the last second, which if you decide you either way, it's fine. But at that point, it's too late. You've committed yourself. And Maxim Sipikov isn't in a position to pull through. And then it's in the back of your net, which I wouldn't be too mad if we were dominating the period. We were very much not. So this is kind of like, all right, this was to be expected. It's just, how do you respond afterwards?
Exactly. How do you respond? They're down 1-0 after one. Shots on goal ended up 9-6, so it's not as drastic as what it looked like the night before in San Jose. But still, nonetheless, it feel-wise and vibe-wise, like, I don't know if you have shot attempts for that period, but it had to be all Ducks.
Yeah, sorry. When I said 16-4, I saw SF, but my dumb eyes, who just still waking up, that was scoring chances for 16-4 for the Ducks. But shot attempts 27-17 in favor of the Ducks, so 61% in their favor.
Yeah, not a good start at all for the New York Islanders. I get it; they played the night before, less than 24 hours ago, but effort just clearly not there, and that showed in the first period.
It really was. You think that they would have learned something, as you mentioned earlier, right? 17-1. You think okay, we can't have that type of thing again because specifically it's a back-to-back. You really want to put in a solid effort at the beginning of the game so you don't have to do that at the later part of the game where you're tired. Thankfully, they do put up quite a bit of an effort later on, but it's much ado about nothing at that point.
Exactly. So let's get to the second period. Again, Hogberg kind of keeping him in it, man, until about 5 minutes to go in the period as the Ducks would strike again, as we'll pull it up here for Drew Hellison.
This was a stinker for Hogberg. It really was. She just throws what seems to be a harmless shot, and it goes right through him.
Yeah, he was awesome up until this point. And once he let that go through, I don't want to make this out like we're killing Hogberg because, again, he was really good in the first period and for most of this game. But once that one went through, it was like, all right, I have – that's when I hand up. That's when I turned off the game. It was around 11 o'clock at that point. And I was like, okay, like this is it. I'm tapping out.
Yeah, I made it through the second, but not that I saw much to reward my faith for those couple of minutes. Yeah, he'd kept the team in the game the entire way. It's his first game in however long, so I'm not going to shit on him for that.
No.
We've seen Ilya Sorokin give up softies after softies. This was definitely one. I know Butch on the broadcast was trying to find a reason, almost like was he screened by Romanov? He was arguing maybe it hit a stick, and as they kept looking at the preview or the reviews, he's like, nope, there's nothing. This was just a softie, man. Which sucks.
He did his best to defend the goalie, but honestly couldn't at that point. Wanted to talk about before we get into the third period. There were some guys who missed, who I don't want to say like missed time due to injury, but kind of sat due to was funny. But at some point sat during this game because of poor play.
Okay. So there's something to look in the shift charts, is what you're saying here.
Yeah, so Kyle Palmieri did not play the final 7:38 of the second. He would come back for the third. But then I wanted to see if Engvall took one shift in the final 8:18 of the third. Romanov took one shift in the final 8:46. And Mayfield didn't play the final 8:05.
Yeah. Mark Gadcombe didn't play from, where is he here? From the second goal on until, so his last shift 34:56 of the game, and then 49:48 of the game. At that point, it was already 4-1 Ducks, so they had nothing to lose by putting them out there. But the fourth line clearly was not doing it.
No. Third period, we get some. I just want to reference that ice time, so put a pin in that when we go back and talk about the box score numbers.
Noted.
Third period, goals start coming through now at this point. Power play goal or power play opportunity for the Ducks results in a goal. Mason McTavish scores on the power play here.
Yeah, is it our power penalty kill? Bo Horvat. Oh my God.
Come on, Bo.
He has not been on it for a little while here. He's been off. I don't know if I can necessarily blame him. He gets traded to a team. They're trying to be, a playoff team, and now it's very much not. So I'm not saying he's giving up, but like that's got to suck a little bit.
Yeah, I think he definitely misses Matthew Barzal also.
Yeah. It's really just him out there, and he's not doing anything really.
No, he isn't. But that makes it a 3-0 game. So PK has a rough night, and then we get the patented early Patrick Waugh goalie pull from Marcus Hogberg, and we got another Colangelo goal here to talk about. This one in the empty net with 8 minutes and 18 seconds, or 8 minutes and 18 seconds of the period. So there's still 12 minutes left in the game at this point.
Yeah, I don't. They were obviously getting a lot of offensive zone time, so that's why Patty tries it. But that one seemed to like get through at least a stall, and they kind of scramble it. So maybe that would have worked, right? Like watch the puck here as Dobson throws it towards the net, right? Like it doesn't quite get across. It probably wouldn't have gone through the goal or into the goal, but it gets pretty darn close, and then they work it the other way. I don't know. I like these early goalie pulls when you're having that like a big advantage.
Okay.
Right? And that's probably what he was trying to do here. Is like, I've got a big an advantage. My team is trying to cycle.
I did this so ass backwards. That's my fault.
Yeah, there we go. They're clearly getting a lot of offensive zone time. So Patty's like, we've got the momentum. Let's try it. We're only 3 goals down. If they score, it's not a big deal. but it's just not really working because his team isn't creating that big advantage offensively. Right, they're not one of these dominant teams in the offensive zone. At least when he's planning on doing this, because they're not winning for a reason. So it's not really working. Again, the strategy itself, I respect. It's not working because of this team.
No, they're not talented enough to do it. But one more goal to talk about. Tony DeAngelo gets on the board with his second. Maxim Siplikov picks up his 20th assist on the year. Nice.
Very nice. It rings that one off the bar, it seems. And then, good work by Boquist here Tony D, just finding his seam and throwing it on net.
Pucks on net. Good things happen.
They did a lot in that period. A lot. When you're looking at the shot attempts, it was 36-15 for the New York Islanders.
Wow. Okay. But too little too late kind of at that point.
Which, your third period in on the second night of a back-to-back. Like, what are you doing here, man? Yes, that's what you should be doing. This is winning hockey. You just waited too goddamn long to do it.
Yeah, they just didn't have it from the start. And then it was like we said, just at that point, it's too little too late. So 4-1 final score, kind of a rough one against the Anaheim Ducks. Yucky performance. They have another West Coast game on Tuesday before they eventually start making their way back. So after, they'll have today off. We'll see how they look against a really good Kings team on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad that they didn't win, because they would have been 2 points out of a playoff spot, and that would have been upsetting.
Yeah, being like, justifies it almost in a way.
Yeah. Like Luke can be like, see, look, we just need to get a little bit younger. Nah, man. Yeah. So they lose. They're still well out of it. Still in it, kind of. They're only, 4 points out back of the Ottawa Senators, although the Sens have a game in hand.
Mm-hmm.
And they're well out of, bottoming out. They're 11 points ahead of Buffalo, which is insane. Think about that. They're 11 points better off than the Buffalo Sabres. That's massive.
That's a huge difference, dude.
It's ridiculous. And they're like the fourth worst team in the East.
Yuck.
Ridiculous.
All right, let's do these numbers from this game, and then we'll do the box score to close out. Shots on goal, 32-28. Islanders ended up with more shots. Alpha strong third period performance. They had 16 shots in the period to Anaheim's 9. Face-off percentage, a rare off night from the Islanders against the Ducks, who are one of the worst face-off teams in the league, which is kind of surprising. 58.1% to the Islanders, 41.9%. Here's a big difference. The special teams 0 for 3 on the power play versus 1 for 2 for the Ducks. 6 penalty minutes for the Ducks to the Islanders. 4 hits. There were a lot of them, 24-22. Ducks with 2 more. Block shots, 18-17. Giveaways, 21 giveaways for the Ducks to the Islanders, 13. And takeaways were 3-2.
Like the Ducks did not manage the puck well at all. The Ducks were the better team for most of the game.
Correct.
Or at least 2/3 of it, but not by much. Had they just seemingly shown up. I know Butch was saying like the biometrics are probably off, and that's him trying to find an excuse, right? And he's not wrong, because you're going, there's a good team here. They're just off. And you referenced the face-off numbers. Jean-Gabriel Pajot himself was horrendous in the face-offs last night. At least when they're following him, he's like 1 for 7, I think, in terms of face-offs.
That's rough.
If I can get his face-off numbers here, Pajot was 33% last night. The only person who was there's 2 people above 50%, and that was Bo Horvat at 60, and then Cizikas at 53. But that's really it. No one else was taking face-offs, apparently. The only ones who have a face-off percentage.
Apparently so. Only one guy having a day. Everyone else kind of stunk.
Yep, absolutely. Just awful stuff. More of this, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose. Ice times are very funny, at least at the top.
Okay, so you mentioned Kyle Palmieri not doing a whole lot, or at least benching for a bit, which is great. Let's sign that up, baby. I'm going to say Bo Horvat.
23-47 for Bo Horvat.
Ooh, and did not very much with it.
No. Simon Holmstrom next closest at 19-28. So there's essentially a 4-minute gap between the number 1 and number 2 guy in ice time.
But they were effectively rolling 3 centers, right? Like I know Adam Boquist was center, but he wasn't even taking draws.
No. Palmieri, even with missing some time in the second, finished with 18 minutes and 49 seconds.
Okay.
Is 4th on the team.
Yeah, and I guess it makes sense because again, that fourth line played not very much at all.
Although more than you would think.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with Mark Gatcomb with the least.
It is Gatcomb, but based on some of the numbers that we talked about how much time the shifts, he still played 935.
Okay, I think they played him a lot at the end. Like once it went 4-1, yeah, he had a full like minute long shift here basically from 9:39 of the no, that's not it. There you go. 49:48 to 51:06 of the third period there. That's the basic full minute is what he's playing. And then
Yeah,
he's got 2 more shifts after that still.
Okay. So was able to pick up some extra minutes at the end in garbage time. Good for him.
Yeah, exactly. They ended up finding the goals. So oh, yeah. Defense, I assume it's Noah Dobson.
2303 for Noah Dobson leading the way.
Okay. And then you mentioned Scott Mayfield missing some time. So I'm going to say Scott Mayfield with the least.
Mayfield was the second fewest at 1356. Boquist, who was playing center.
Forward. Yeah.
1030.
Okay. So technically Scott Mayfield still.
Oh, yeah. If you want to say, technically Scott, we could say technically Scott Mayfield.
Yes. Technicality win.
Hogberg in net stopped 24-27, 3 goals against for an 889 save percentage. I don't think that's really indicative of how he played, at least at the start. I know he had the second one was rough and we talked about it, but still, this game probably should have been at a minimum 2-0 after one, if not worse.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. He even stops Zegras on a Michigan attempt. I think maybe he got more of the crossbar than anything. And it probably would have come back as high stick when you look at the freeze frame. Like his arms
he was way up there
above the crossbar. Hogberg was fine. It was encouraging to see him back. First game, did well. The Islanders did not support him at all. Way too many high danger attempts against high danger attempts 14 for the Ducks. It was 6 in the first period alone.
Okay.
Can't have that. 2-1.
No.
That first.
Not good enough.
That's not supporting your goalie as he's coming back from injury, man.
No, it's embarrassing actually.
Yeah. So good job, Islanders. Keep it up, I suppose.
Any final thoughts on this one? Who was just for me, my last takeaway is this is not a good team that's starting to really look like not a good team after you lose Brock Nelson in a trade.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't, as Lou Lamoriello say, like we're still trying to do this. Like that's a save face statement. You can't do that when you're second line center and best offensive player, was he not? Just in terms of points, is gone. You had a hard time scoring with him, and now he's gone. Forget it. Please just bottom out.
So that'll do it for us in the post game. We're going to record a pod later tonight on Patreon. So make sure to sign up for the Patreon if you're interested in that at patreon.com/uptheturnpike. Back in action on Tuesday. The Islanders are late, so we'll have a Wednesday morning post game show there. And then back to a Wednesday pod on Patreon. So a lot of content coming your way. Make sure to follow along, right, Mitch?
Absolutely. Let's get it going.
All right, that'll do it. I'm Matt. He's Mitch, and we will catch you next time.